Hello, everyone. I took a massive bite of shortbread before I went. Turned the camera and I didn't realise I didn't have enough time. Oh dear. Oh, choke that down. Hello. Oh, and a double sneeze. Wow. Good. Off to a great start. How are we? Goodness gracious me. Oh. What is this? Not a fan of that. Not a fan of that at all. Anyway, how's it going? How are you all? Are you all good? You excited for another Wednesday night? We are back. We are live. Today we are going to be trying to finish off Gandalf the White. I haven't turned any of this on this screen, but there we go. Now it's on. So yes, tonight we're going to try and finish him. I don't know. I don't know if we will, but we're gonna try. We're gonna try our best. Andy Burns, thank you very much for the $4.99. Bless you. That's very kind of you. Thank you. I should sneeze more often. Ill Josh. No, I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine. Don't know where that's come from, but you know, it's what it is. So, I feel like we shouldn't really beat around the bush tonight. We should just get on with it, really. Pull up my reference picture. Yeah. 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 Not seen him for 2 days. I know. You must get sick of me. Okay. So I've obviously I've been very busy the last couple of days, but I have done some thinking about this one, and helpfully come to zero conclusions. But we're going to try our best. Is that your second Gandalf this year? It would be my second Gandalf this year. My first white. The other one was grey. But I think the best thing to do first is to next up, we're going to take some Agrax Earthshade and apply this over the top of the Targor Raid Shade on the boots. Just like that. Seamless content creation. Because naturally we are filming this for a video. So if you missed the first part, don't worry. There we go. We're already one down. And then I was thinking, in order for it to not all be exactly the same, what we should do is we should use a paint that I don't use very often, but works really well over White Scar. Or at least I don't wear it very often these days. Is to actually use some Apothecary White for the rest of Gandalf's robes. Because it just differentiates him a little bit more from Shadowfax. So it just makes sense to me. So we're doing it. And so with that all done, we then take some Apothecary White. And we're going to apply this over top of the rest of Gandalf's clothes. Just like that. Because one of the biggest things with him is that, like, it's all going to get layered and highlighted the same way. So it's just a case of, like, changing up what the recesses do. So we are in fact going to use some Nuln Oil over the top of his hair and beard as well. And then it all gets layered and highlighted with Corax White and White Scar. But this will just give us enough kind of differentiation between all of it that it will make sense. Because at the moment he doesn't really look like Gandalf the White, he looks like Gandalf the Many-Layered Greys. Jack, member for 46 months. Hope you're doing well. 2 more months until 4 years hit. Maybe a cheeky Crimson Fists vid to celebrate. Still crossing my fingers for a new Cantor model, but I don't have a ton of faith. You should have more faith, Jack. I'm sure it'll happen eventually. And I think it'll even happen in our lifetimes. You have to believe. You have to believe in these things. I would never have believed that something like Warriors of Rohan would have ever have got a redo in my lifetime, but yet we live in that universe where that has happened. You know? I reckon now's the time for Nuln Oil. We'll just do that. And then it's Gilliman Flesh. And so with that all done, we then are going to take some Nuln Oil. I'm going to apply this over top of his hair and beard. There we go. What are you guys working on tonight? If anything, you might not be working on anything. This is what I like to think of as being the most efficient form of Warhipstering. I think for the last few months you've seen very inefficient Warhipstering. because of all the heat. And the heat has caused a certain degree of laziness and lackadaisical approach to content creation, just because it hasn't been a nice environment to paint in. But that time is over. For example, in the last 2 days alone, I filmed 2 whole videos. In the last 2 days. Which is terribly exciting. Okay, you can leave that to dry for a minute. Oh, I'm going to blow my nose. That's what I'm going to do. That's much better. There we go. Battletech. My husband is forcing me to take a Warhammer break. Is that something that needed to be enforced? Gimli finished Legolas today. I saw your Legolas. It was very nice. Abraxia, Spear of the Everchosen. Nighthaunt. Lovely, lovely. Finished my Gandalf the White, so now I need to finish Mounted Harleth, and I'm magnetizing my Battle of Edoras box. Nicely done. Nicely done. Getting some paint on Khazad Guard. Nice, 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 nice. Because you're all being lovely and predictable? Productive. Not being predictable at all. I can't predict what you guys are doing. Right, a bit of Gilliman flesh is all that... We need a bit of Gilliman flesh and a bit of Black Legion, I think, for the belts and stuff. And, like, here's the thing, is I didn't think Glamdring had a gold hilt. I thought it had a silver hilt. And yet, in the box art, they've painted it gold. So I need to now look at Glamdring. 1 second. Glamdring. Images. Glamdring does indeed have... it looks a little... No, it's silver. Definitely silver. It's a slightly different burnished silver, but it's silver nonetheless. Yeah, I thought as much. I thought as much. It is silver. Yeah, I thought as much. So that means there actually isn't any gold on him. I know he does have a blue scabbard. I'm still going to do it black because it will read better than putting blue there. I will do a little bit of gold maybe on... Oh, actually, no, I don't think we do. No, it doesn't need to on the tip of the scabbard either. So we will just do that, I think. It's probably the best way to do it, just because you want it to read well. So we're just going to go for it. We're going to put some Black Legion on for the scabbard, the grip, which I also know is blue, but scabbard, grip, and belts, because that's how we roll. And with that all done, just whilst we're waiting for it to dry, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Black Legion and we're going to apply this over the top of the scabbard, the belts, and the grip of Glamdring. Because this is the thing, is we can always make it blue by giving it some bluish highlights, which I think is the slightly better way of doing it. Doing some Baron's War stuff. Good fun. The game is fun too. Lovely. Nice to hear that. I will, of course, have to go and replicate all of this on Gandalf on foot in just a minute. So we will do that. I just need to check. No, it is white tunic. Easy. Alright, cool. What style of music do we want to listen to whilst I'm doing the boring bit? Let's go for some rock music, shall we? Let's have whatever this is. Garage rock. Lovely. Alright. This is the fun thing about doing these, is when you get to do the ones on foot, they're just really, really quick. There's an argument to be made that sometimes the better thing to do would be to use the foot version of the hero to figure out the colour scheme, and then apply that to the horse. And you wouldn't be wrong doing that. There we go, 23 minutes in and we're almost... We're flying. This is very slowly turning into a speed paint. Thoughts on the Up Next for Age of Sigmar article? I don't really have any. Was this the one that was up today? As is quite often the case, when something that's released, I'm like, cool. Can't wait to see the full mini. I realise part of the fun for a lot of people is trying to guess what it could be, and I'm like, a lot of the time, you'll never be able to guess exactly what it's going to be. Depending on how specific you want the guess to be. See what I mean? What's it going to be? It's going to be a new model. There you go. My god, he's prescient. G'day, Josh. Just wondering if you were going to schedule a Lady O tutorial and maybe some Harridans. I used your recipe for the Pyregeist and they came out simply dapper. I see, for the Night Haunt. Yes, yes. We have a slight problem in our household when it comes to Night Haunt. You see, Alice has a very big Night Haunt army, for which she has done all of the above. And that's her army. And I don't have a Night Haunt army. So anything I do paint for the Night Haunt gets donated to Al. So she has, unfortunately, already done Lady Ollander and Dreadscythe Harridans. So, if I do them, it has to be done with her express permission and on the understanding that I'm not doing them to replace her Lady Ollander or Lady Harrod or Dreadscythe Harridans. Because that's rude. She's done a lovely job of both. So they don't need replacing. As it stands, the only thing she hasn't done is a couple of characters like what's his name? Kurdos Valentian. She hasn't done him. And she hasn't done a black coach because she hates the black coach model. And she hasn't done Reikenor the Grimhaler. I don't think she's done an executioner or whatever it's called either. So that's the slightly tricky thing on that front in this house. Did she use contrast? She did. Of course she did. She lives in this house. Right, we need some Gilliman flesh. Would you recommend a recipe? I'm here for 3 minutes before my boss calls. For Dreadscythe Harridans, you can follow the little dudes in the Pyregeists. For Lady Ollander, a lot of that is relevant for her as well. There's also some white recipes here that will help, I think, maybe, with him. There's little tidbits from the stuff that we've already done. It's not, 100%, but like there's bits and pieces here and there, like the whites and the sort of similar to the whites over there and this, that, and the other, if you see what I mean. So there's not. But yeah. What's your boss call it? Have you got a meeting? I'm the favourite. Is it going to be rubbish? So with that Black Legion all applied, we're now going to take some Gilliman flesh. And we're going to apply this over top of Gandalf's face and hands. There we go. We're getting there slowly but surely. Just got a bit of silver to do. Because as we've already agreed, and I'm the favourite, I'm sure we'll agree, Glamdring does not have a gold crossguard. It has a silver crossguard. So it should be silver. But what we will do is highlight those bits that are black with blue in order to give it that blue appeal. I do refuse to wear a crown. Maybe I should become a ranger. A ranger of contrast. Like a Dunedain. Be happy with being a Dunedain. That would be great. Okay, so all that's left is a bit of silver. It makes sense to me to contrast the white is to use Iron Warriors. Because if we use Iron Warriors, it'll provide like a darker reference point in the model, which is already very, very, very bright. It's going to be even brighter. So I think Iron Warriors is probably the right step here. Leadbelcher could work, but we can't really get that much shading into it because they're small pieces. So it makes sense to me to be. Question about Adeptus Sororitas. I know you painted Lord of the Rings, but I don't get to watch live often. Would you paint a tank with Basilicanum and then Black Templar, or just spray black? I would spray it black. Unless you want the contrast, the bright in there to do the white. In which case, I would prime it grey here and use Black Legion, shade it with Nuln Oil. That would be my recommended thing to do over using Basilicanum followed by Black Templar. You'll find it a lot quicker and easier, and it's a tank. It'll read the same as infantry that size, because it's a black tank. So priming it black is really quick, but you will have to paint in all the other details. But if you prime it grey seal, I'd recommend Black Legion and then Nuln Oil, and that'll give you a very similar finish. Right. Iron Warriors it is. Woo! Whoppa! Okay, here we go. Final base coat on the old man himself. And so with that all done, we are now going to take some thinned down Iron Warriors. We're going to apply this over top of, well, all of his remaining details. This is going to be the scabbard decoration, the hilt, crossguard, and blade of Glamdring, and the brooch at his neck. Is that how you shake a metal colour? Yes. That's how I shake all my paints. My paints are used on a daily basis, so they don't need vigorous shaking to the point of where I do myself an injury. Have you done a video for Dexessa, Talon, or Slanesh? I've just finished building the model, but she seems quite the challenge to paint. I have not done a video for Dexessa, nor Sinessa. Unfortunately, I can only apologise. I think on an almost monthly basis, somebody tells me they're going to use those as Keeper of Secrets in 40k, and I'm like, not the right size. I have one. I can't remember which one I built. The Talon. Is that the one you were asking about? Dexessa. Oh, what is this? Where's this come from? Sorry. Let's have some of that. There we go. I'm not on a mission to push like on every painting tutorial you've done. It's quite a challenge to achieve. There's a lot of them. Annoyingly as well, I keep releasing new ones. So inconvenient. There we go. All of the base coats are on both iterations of Gandalf the White. Good evening, Chris. Do you get time to play with all the painting you do? I do this weekend. I'm going up to Warhammer World to play some games of Warhammer 40,000. I don't know how many. I should really check the pack. It's like 4 or 5. I'm not sure. Whoa. So now we tediously wait for that Iron Warriors to dry. I mean, you don't have to wait in silence with me. I should just, you know, I'm streaming, I'm live. I'm better at this, I swear. I'm pretty good at this job. What army are you taking? I'm taking Adeptus Custodes. I locked it in today. I'll take Adeptus Custodes because it's only 5 things I need to take then. Liam says send him your spare Varangard. Does he now? He doesn't need my spare Varangard. He can buy his own. They're not spare. They go into my Swords of Chaos army. They're quite important. So there we have it. No, my Swords of Chaos army, I've got everything I need for it as well. Abraxia, Varangard, and Chaos Knights. Knights of Chaos, however you're supposed to say it. As well as there's a Lord on Demonic Mount. And then I have a second iteration that uses the same models. But then also includes Eternus and Bellicor, as opposed to Abraxia. But there's a list I have which is Abraxia, Archaon, and 6 Varangard. I want to be able to do all of them. Barry's Instagram is growing just shy of 100 followers in 2 weeks. Go Bazza. That's not bad. Keep it up. Keep it up. Thank you for your grandfather's gardeners tutorial. I use them as a Warcry warband. I think it's for Joe. I don't want to give Joe Varangard either. I already contributed an Abraxia to his army. Alright, what are we doing? What are we saying? Nearly there. What's on the table today? It is Gandalf the White. We're just waiting for his silver to fully dry before we can shade it. And then he is battle ready. This is the one on foot as well. And then it's literally a case of Corax White and White Scar. A bit of Ironbreaker. And then some Dawnstone and some Rust Grey. Bit of Flayed One Flesh, Black Legion and Screaming Skull for the eyes. And then he's done. It's really not a lot to do. We need Ironbreaker. We need a Rust Grey. Dawnstone. Corax White. White Scar. Flayed One Flesh. Black Legion. And Screaming Skull. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 paints. Not bad. 9 steps. 8 paints, 9 steps. There we go. Okay, let's do it, shall we? Thank you very much, Tome of the Occult, for becoming a member. You are our first new member of the day. Legend. Thank you so much. We're 13 away. That's an unlucky number. 13 away from our goal of 75 for the week. You've done an incredible job as always. I don't always do an incredible job. Sometimes I do a passable job. And sometimes I think I've done such a bad job that I don't want to release the video, but I do anyway. I just don't tell you which ones those are. Outwardly display confidence. Inwardly be like, I'm back. No one cares. I care, JPM. Welcome back. And so with that all done, we're now going to shade that silver using some black lead. No, let's start that again. And with that Iron Warriors all applied, we're now going to shade it using some Nuln Oil. Done. He's looking nice. Thank you very much. I'm quite pleased with how this one's turning out. He's going quite well. Done it. Battle ready, Gandalf. Love it. Gandalf looking great. Genuinely curious how you deal with the hole in the base. The way I do it, and I don't know if anybody else does it the same way, but the way I do it is I take a little bit of tissue paper, just a very small amount, and then I just fill it up, basically. Because I use Sterling mud invariably over the top of all of these, right? So essentially what happens is I just take a tiny little bit of tissue paper and scrunch it up and then pop it in the tiny hole. And you don't need very much at all. You probably need about that much. And then just, well, I'll demonstrate on Eowyn's base. And then what we just do is I just ball it up, and then just from the underside just press it in like that. Sometimes you can go a little bit further up, use just to push that up a little bit further. There we go. And then that will be covered with Sterling mud. It just holds it. That's how I do it. Just joined your channel. Love your schemes. Currently building 1,000 Adeptus Sororitas. Points of Adeptus Sororitas might be paid by Christmas, and you're very, very welcome. Come and join us in the Discord Tome of the Occult, and you can keep us up to date with your progress. Love to see it. Do those videos tend to do the best? I find that's always the case. My videos are an absolute crapshoot. I have no idea whether something's going to do well. I thought Death Watch would be like a sort of alright one, but it's probably been the best performing video in the last 2 months. Yeah. Same for actually the Deathbringer of Khorne. No idea. Didn't think it was going to do very well. Did alright, you know. Whereas I really love painting the Deathbringer of Khorne. I thought he was a really cool model. But yeah. Okay, here he is. Here is Battle Ready Gandalf the White. Now we obviously haven't done Pippin. Peregrine took Guard of the Citadel, but this is Battle Ready Gandalf the White. So the big thing here is going to be that the next colour is Corax White, and it's going to be a relayer over all of it, basically. So that's going to be the longest part of the video, essentially. The only part we're not relayering is his boots, but we're going to be highlighting it with Corax White anyway, because he does have, for some reason, white boots. White little booties. So there you go. Will we see the whole process? You will. This will be a video. This will be a video in the future. But we might as well get started on that now, mightn't we? I don't think this is going to... This is the part that, like... If I just concentrate on this, I'll get it done in about half an hour, I'm sure. But concentrating on it is going to be quite difficult because we're live. So we'll do as much of it as we possibly can. But I don't know. I don't know how much of this we're going to get finished right now. But let's have a go, shall we? Let's see. Let's see what we can do. And so with that Nuln oil all applied, Gandalf the White is now what I would call a Warhipster battle ready, and he's looking pretty good. However, we're of course not going to leave him there. No, we're going to take him to the next level, and we're going to do this by adding some layers and some highlights. Now, the first of these is going to be the biggest one, because we're going to be essentially relayering this over, well, pretty much all of the model. And it's going to be some thinned down Corax White. And we're going to be using this to relayer all of his robes, his staff, and his hair and beard. But of course we're going to be avoiding any of the recesses where all our shades have settled quite nicely. And for his boots, we're going to highlight them with the Corax White rather than relayer them. I'm going to do that, for example, on the staff, and then on all of his clothes. There we go. Alright, see you in about half an hour, chat. No, I'll try my best to be as interactive as possible. Whilst I'm doing this. I mean, some might say this is an obnoxious amount of white, and they would be right. Have you painted the dogs of Wildercore Hunters? I have, Sue. I have. They're in the video of the Wildercore. um, the entirety of the wheel decor. I've also done a canid in the Rattlings video, so that would also help if you want to paint a little dog. So Rattlings and wheel decor both have the dogs. How do you approach basing after you've done with painting? With a run-up. I use what's it called? I use technical paints from Games Workshop, and I use the little technical tool, the little texture tool that they provide that they sell. It's actually quite handy for placing stuff like that on the base, because it's rigid. And because it's rigid, it helps mitigate for anything like if you're trying to apply it with a brush can sometimes like flick out when you're not realizing it, or like it can get stuck on things. The texture tool doesn't get stuck on things because it's rigid, so it will just plow through something if it wants to. So I actually find that really easy for applying texture paint to a base, and pretty easy to get it up to the feet but without kind of going over the feet, whereas I think with a brush, because it's soft and supple, you can sometimes accidentally like just get the wrong pressure, for example, using a brush, so it might like kind of splay up and over the top, which you don't necessarily want it to do. So yeah, that's how I do it. Uh, do you ever get time to paint personal for fun off camera, or is it all business? It is all business, but these invariably they are personal. Like this Gandalf is technically personal. Like he's for me. He's not for anyone else. There's very, 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 very little occasion though for me to paint something and not film it. Unless it's a repeat. So it might be that, like, in recent memory I did 3 Hallowed Knights Prosecutors for my GT list. And seeing as we already did that when they came out, I'm not going to make a second video on doing that, see what I mean? Because that would be silly. But otherwise, everything is content. Okay. This actually wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Because I've mostly done it. I mean, look at that. My 2025 models painted 3. That's 3 more than a lot of people. GameX is right, Runar. 3 is still good. That is just with Corax White re-layered over the top of all of those details. It almost doesn't need the white scar. I'm almost tempted to not do a white scar highlight on it. Just to keep it soft. I don't know, what do you guys think? I don't know. I just realised I haven't actually done his boots, so I'm just going to very quickly do that. It almost doesn't need it, does it? Of course, we need to do the one on foot now. I mean, I will do the highlight of White Scar, but, you know, I'm almost tempted not to. GameX, thank you very much for the 5 gifted Warhipster memberships. That is very kind of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. 8 away now. Or 2 away from a funny number. Depends on what you like. Do you like goals or funny numbers? I don't know how everyone else has mythical pots of smooth Corax White. My Corax White pots always look like chunks of pigment. Interesting. I've never had that. Quite often when this question comes up, says Drummingfish, I always sound like I'm being a prick. But the question I'm going to ask you, and please do not take this as an insult, is, are you sure it's not Ceramite White that you've got by accident? Because they are two very different things. Ceramite White is awful. I've never experienced bad Corax White. Valid question, but no, it's Corax White. That's fair. Honestly, I've had a lot of I've had conversations in the past with some folks who've been like, my Corax White is terrible. It's an awful paint. It's the worst paint in the world. And I've said, can I see your Corax White? And I've looked at it and gone, that's Ceramite White, my brother. That's where you've gone wrong. There's a lot of white. It would be nice to not to get this done. We're nearly there. Right, his cloak's done. What do you think? We've just got to do his staff now. And why should I welcome you, Gandalf Stormcrow? A just question, my liege. Is it? Got it. There we go. And after a simple relayer of Corax White, that's where we're at. And it took exactly 25 minutes. Oh, it's almost like I do this for a living. What do you guys think? Oh. That is literally just with Corax White. So there is a degree of... We could go in and we could add some White Scar, but I'm honestly tempted not to. Because I think he's already really bright. I don't know. I can't figure out. Let's go really close. Do you see what I mean? I don't know. I can't decide. That's going to be one of those ones that's going to haunt me for a while. Almost as good as yours, eh? Cool. Do you want to take over here, Adam? I warn you, there's a lot of pressure. How about adding White Scar just for the horse? We've done it. We've done it for the horse. So Shadowfax. Focus, will you? If you look carefully, Shadowfax has been highlighted with the White Scar. Also, if you take over the channel, Adam, you get paid significantly less and you work a lot more hours. Which I know is spectacular for what you do, because you work a lot of hours anyway. Yesterday, chat, I started painting at 10 AM and I clocked off at 4 AM. I did an 18-hour day nearly. I didn't fully do an 18-hour day because I had dinner. But yeah, I put in a shift yesterday. I was so pleased with the result. You'll see the result of that later. I was really pleased. I was really pleased with how it came out. Time we are on 10:30. I'm looking at the lump of things, and I don't know if I want to highlight it with White Scar. Sorry for the slacking. Hope everyone is well. I hope you're well, Captain Manrings. Maybe we'll just relax. We conquered a lot, to be fair. I just don't think I'm going to be able to scramble through it. I don't want to scramble through it either. I need to think about whether or not I'm going to highlight it. Maybe a little bit of highlighting is warranted. Oh, I don't know. Gripped by indecision. This is always what happens, by the way. This is always what happens. Sometimes I just cannot make the decision. It's a difficult one, that. Hello, James. Gandalf looks awesome. Did you say Glorfindel is coming this week? Looking forward to that video. Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully the Glorfindel video should be this Friday. I've got to get it edited tomorrow. Tomorrow is a bit of a editing hell day. Laura seems to have brought home some lurgy, but otherwise okay. Oh, I hope she gets better. I hope you feel better if you get it as well. That's a preemptive get well soon. And a post-infection get well soon to Laura. Good evening, Fly Muttley. Yeah, I just can't decide. Can't decide. Brain aneurysm. Because part of me worries that when Pippin is added, he's going to be really dark, obviously, because he's Guard of the Citadel. So when Pippin goes on there, is that going to provide... Is White Scar going to balance him out, basically? Because he's gonna darken down the whole thing. But is White Scar going to balance out the darkening down of it? That's the question. No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. We'll think about it. Maybe we'll spend the next 25 minutes thinking about it. So, does anyone have any questions? Thoughts? Comments? I would say criticisms, but I don't think I'm strong enough to hear that today. Are you excited by the AOS 10-year article and mini preview today? I said this earlier. No, I'm not excited by it because there's no point being excited by it from my perspective. The reason being is it's like, okay, cool, there's some models coming. I'll be excited when I see the models. Basically, is the attitude I'm adopting these days. Which I know a lot of people get a lot of fun out of the speculation as to what everything could be, but I just don't. I'm just like, I'll just wait until they tell us what it is. That's where I'm at really in life. Deeply jaded. Yeah. I can criticize you, Josh, if you want. No, I just said I don't want to be criticized. What about that sentence was me saying I want to be criticized? Oh, yeah, the don't. Yeah, I hear that. I hear it now. Now I hear it out loud. I have a question. Are you going to use White Scar and Mithrandir? That is a question I don't have the answer to right now, Edward. Thank you very much for asking that again. I have a bad infestation of the 40k affliction. How do I clear this, Josh? Go on Reddit and read about how every faction is terrible and how everything is awful. Go and read competitive Warhammer subreddits. That'll do you. That'll get rid of it. That'll help you out. Do you have a question, Josh? Would you change anything from your 30k World Eater scheme to port it to 40k? Nah. No, I wouldn't change anything about it. It's yeah, it's exactly how it needs to be. To do a 40k version of it. Most exciting model in the pipeline, then, that you can tell us about. Can't tell you about any of them. Cannot tell you about any of them. I'm so far behind on stuff I own and need to get painted that I can wait to just see the whole new model. That's the thing for me. That is the thing for me. It's like, here's the rumor engine. What could it be? A model. And it's a model. It invariably turns out to be a model, and that's as much as I care about it at this point. You know. Especially when it's for something that you know is coming as well. It's like, guys, I don't know if you know this, big news, but there's going to be a battle tome for these 4 things. Yeah, we know. And there's going to be a model with it. Yeah. Duel would be really exciting. The only thing I think that would excite me, right, in terms of like a preview like that, is if they went, here's Cities of Sigmar, going to get new battle tome and new models coming soon, but we can't show you what they are. Instead, have this silhouette, and they show you the silhouette, and they show you a silhouette of a lot of things. Do you see what I mean? Because then you can gauge it. You can be like, ooh. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, they're getting quite a lot. Looks like they're getting quite a lot. But when it's like, yeah, Maggotkin, getting new models, because that's clearly what it is. It's like, okay, but is it one model or is it many? Because they might then go, the exciting Blades of Corn release is here. 1 Deathbringer. And that's it. Oh. Do you know what I mean? But this is the thing as well, is like, I'm so in the weeds of the now. Living in the future, it's not something I do. I'm just working on what I need to work on right now to get videos out for all of you guys for the now, as it were. And like, it excites me when I'm doing things and I've got something and I'm painting it up. And I have fun mostly with a lot of things. But yeah, I get it done when I get it done, you know. Reddit in general is such a cesspool of hatred for the hobby. I saw someone complain that the logo on the side of the Vulcan box was the Aquila and not the Salamander's logo. Well, yeah. You can complain about anything if you like. Someone will find a way to complain about everything. I had a friend once who complained so bitterly about everything that you could give him £1,000 and he'd complain that he didn't know where to put it, or would complain that it wasn't enough, or would complain that it was in the wrong bills. Wouldn't say thank you, but just would complain about everything. You know what I mean? So it's just like, oh, okay, there's no hope for you. Just be miserable. That's all good. Just be miserable. It's up to you. If the new Cities of Sigmar book comes out, what extra models do you think they'll add? Well, this is the other part of it, right? Is I don't like to predict too much, because if I can predict it, then it's not inventive enough. And that is one of the problems I've had with 40k in the last 3 years, at least, in 10th edition at least, is that I've been able to predict almost the entirety of almost every release. You've been able to be like, what do you think it's going to be? It's going to be this. And then it's that. And it's like... And that's not coming from, like, you know... information that one already has. But, like, it's like... If I said to you, in 10th edition, what model do you think the Imperial Fists might get? It's like, it's Lysander. Why? Because Lysander is a resin Terminator miniature, and they're going to get rid of that, and they're going to replace it with a plastic one. It's not going to be, you know, something like... And if I can predict a new thing for it, then it wasn't very inventive. If I can't predict it, then I'm like, do you know what? Dope. It's much, much nicer by that criteria. If you see what I mean? So, like, with Cities of Sigmar, what I would love to see them do is I would love to see them not remove the dwarves and elves, but remove the dwarves and replace them with dwarves, if you see what I mean. I'd like them to go through and do the other races at the similar level to the humans. Maybe a little smaller, but I don't know. But that's what I would love for them to do. But I also don't want to predict what they will do, because I want to be delighted by it when I do inevitably see it eventually, if you see what I mean. They could just go back to just not doing stuff for various factions like they used to. Do you know what? I wouldn't mind it so much. What do you recommend painting blue horrors? Kind of depends on what you want to do with them, really. What colour do they do them? Blue horrors. It's kind of like a Lothern-y blue. I bet if I look at the... I wonder if they have them in the Citadel Paint app. Let's have a look, shall we? Citadel Paint. Citadel Colour, actually, is what it's called. Continue to the app. Project. Learn. No, paint. Paint by model. Is it going to be in 40,000 or in Age of Sigmar? Let's try Age of Sigmar. Blue. Yes. They paint them. Calidor Sky. Teclis Blue. Lothern Blue. That makes me feel pretty good. Oh, it looks like Lothern Blue. I want to Teclis Blue, Lothern Blue. The answer in that regard, I think, what I would do is I would probably do Talosar Blue over the top of them. And then I would use, I think maybe two parts Lamian medium to 1 part Ultramarines blue over the top is what I would probably do to get blue horrors. To get that specific type of blue, I think. And obviously you could just pick a blue and just do that, and you'd be perfectly happy doing that. Assaman blue would work really nicely for blue horrors, just on its own. Hello, I'm the favourite. Your boss expects you to work. That is a shame. Sorry if you have already covered this. Will you be doing a video on the Tomb World terrain? I haven't got one planned at the moment, Dan the Man Collections. I can't figure out in my head how to do it in a reasonable way that's not going to take forever. And I'm really busy at the moment. So I haven't got a video planned. It's not a never say never, but at the moment I just simply don't have the time to do it at the moment. So yeah, if I can figure out a way of doing it that's effective and cool, then I will. But at the moment I can't figure that out. I'm trying though. It's sat like it's living rent free in my head at the moment. I forget who it was who said it, but it was GW. You could put £20 in every box and people would complain about how it was folded. Oh, yes. Uh-oh. Why are you uh-ohing, Adam? What have I done? Finally got 1-week-old daughter to sleep, so going to drift off to Josh's lilting words. Good night, all. Good night, GameX. Congratulations on having a 1-week-old daughter as well. I'm not sure if I was aware of that information, but congratulations. I want them to remove the race-exclusive rules for Cities of Sigmar. I don't necessarily. I want it to be a compelling option to take all three and for them to do very different things. If you see what I mean. Like for them to... Weekly max? What do you... You're maxed out on YouTube. Well, that sucks. That sarcophagus looks awesome. It does. The sarcophagus does look awesome. There's a lot of really cool stuff in that terrain. The problem is that like a lot of it is very detailed. It's very, very detail intensive. And I'm trying to figure out a way to make it so that it's not detail intensive, but it looks really effective. And that's the key for it, I think. But at the moment, I just can't marry that up in my head. YouTube won't let me bribe you. Bloody YouTube. Trying to find the answer for you. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be an answer to that question. It's very strange. Any chance you'll be covering the new Tomb Kings when they release? Those new Skelly priests are excellent in my opinion. If they send it to me, then yes, I will do them. If they don't send them to me, then I shan't. Maybe do a section only of the Tomb World terrain. Yeah, the problem with doing just a section is when you just do a section, it's not expandable out to the rest of the set. Bearing in mind that in that set there is a lot of terrain. There's a huge amount of terrain, right? If you just do one wall, right, you're insinuating to people that they should do that for all the walls. And if there's 10 walls, it's like, no. 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 So I mean, I think that's a trap that a lot of things fell into when the Gallo Dark terrain came out. Those walls is people were spending a lot of time on one, and that's the video on how to paint that. It's like, yeah, but I've got to paint 30 of these, 20 to 30 of these. I can't do that for all of them. You see what I mean? So trying to figure out a way to do it where it's really effective. As close as I've come at the moment is priming the whole thing black, and then priming like the pillars and stuff with grey cere or wraith. It's probably grey cere. So like having to like mask things off and stuff. But that feels like that's a bit labour intensive. So is it worth doing just like a zenithal, as it were, like a targeted prime on the pillars for them to be bright, and then using a series of dry brushes to bring it up, and then a all over wash in order to bring it down, and then a final dry brush to bring it up again, and then using some really thinned down white scar or Corax white or something in all the places where you want there to be a glow, and then going over that with Tesseract glow. Maybe that's the thing to do, but that is a lot. That's a lot of work on just like one or two. One or two pieces of terrain. It's a lot to do on the entire set. That sounds complicated. Exactly. It sounds complicated, right? PayPal let me. What did you do? What did you do on... I see. A bribe. A bribe, you say. I'm the favourite. Thank you very much for your bribe. Would you like to see how far we got with Gandalf? I'm trying to determine. What I wrote is funny. It was funny. That's what made me laugh. That's where we got to. He's been fully relayered with Corax White. I'm just trying to determine in my head whether or not it's White Scar highlighted. What's the going rate bribe for a Warlord Titan stream? We're waiting for my Warlord Titan to get built by Pete. I need to text him and ask. I need to text him and ask him where he's got to with that, because he's in the midst of building it. I haven't heard from him for a little bit. I know we've relayered the whole thing with Corax White, so more Corax White isn't going to help that at all. It's White Scar that we need if we're going to do it. Like, because the horse is highlighted with White Scar, but I don't know if he needs it. Even just hearing that process has helped me with what I'm going to do with my terrain. Thanks, Josh. Oh, you're very welcome, Dan. Maybe we can do a short YouTube explaining this for your audience and which recipe could be used. Yeah, I don't know if just talking on a short is a video that anyone really wants to watch. So, I don't know. I'll keep thinking about it. I'll figure it out. King of the Dead short, you say? I've done the King of the Dead. There you go. Done. I'm waiting for him to... Oh, I didn't. I bought him like that. And there you go. That's him. I'm excited about the new teasers for AOS today. I was saying earlier, James, no. And not because I'm not excited for them. It's just I don't know what they are. Like, so it's like today was an announcement that the things that are going to happen that we knew were going to happen are happening. So it's like, right, okay. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I mean, I'm always excited for all models all of the time, but as I have no idea what they are, so I can't get excited for them. It's not news. It's like them putting out an article saying, "Hey guys, did you know that there's going to be a Drakari Codex?" It's like, yeah. Did you know that we're going to be releasing Maggotkin of Nurgle, Ogre War Tribes, Fire Slayers, and Ossiarch Bone Reapers? Yeah, I did know that. What did you use for the Redditor's robes? Oh, I didn't use them. I didn't do any red. Didn't need to. So what I did is I bought it out of the box and then it was done. Lovely transparent plastic. You gotta love it. I'm excited to see what they do with the Fire Slayers. Well, but this is the thing. Are you? Or are you nervous? Because what happens if the Fire Slayers is just a single model and that's it? Same for Maggotkin. What if it's just one model? What if for the Ogre Moor tribes, all it is just a new butcher and that's it? Will it be a nice model? Yeah, it'll be a nice model. It'd be lovely to see a new model. Would it be nice if it was the entire range? Oh, yes. That would be much nicer. I would be very excited to see something like that. One single half-naked dwarf coming soon to a battle host box near you. That could be it. It's what they've done with 40k multiple times. To be fair, they haven't done that with Age of Sigmar yet. They haven't released a new model in a Battle Force box. That hasn't happened yet, as far as I can remember. But you know, that's what they did with Grey Knights, Death Guard, Thousand Sons, World Eaters. But we shall see. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. I need to submit my spearhead for Tails. James, why would you drop a message like that in the chat? Now I know that you are late. Oh, Custodians and Sisters did, yeah. Changeling versus Lumina something. Oh, yes, yeah, no. So they used to do those boxes. They used to do faction versus faction boxes with one new model for each side. You're absolutely correct there, Well, there was the Curseling versus the Cenarian Lightener and some other stuff going on. But they stopped doing that with oh god, what was it called? It was the Sylvaneth one. That was the last one, which had the Lady of Vines and the Skaven Deathmaster in it. Regarding Tales, we need a September theme. Okay, I'm going to come up with the theme now. Look, there's two choices here. James, you got there for me. There's remember the 21st of September. But I feel like if we say remember the 21st of September, people will expect something happening on the 21st of September before they will think of Earth, Wind and Fire. So, if we're going from Earth, Wind and Fire type thing, literally the September... I think the September theme could be Earth, Wind and Fire as the theme. Or Baby It's My Birthday, because it's my birthday in September in 23 days time. So there's only 23 more days and of me being the center of attention. However, I think yes. How about we just announce it now? I'll put it in the Discord now and everything. I'm just gonna call it out. Just do it. As cobbled together right now, the theme for September will be Earth, Wind, and Fire. So let's just go for that. It's in the Discord. It means it's official. So the September theme, ladies and gentlemen, for Tale of Many Warhipsters is Earth, Wind and Fire. Do what you will with that. Theme, presents. Happy birth month, Josh. Happy birth month, Josh. No, because I feel like that's me saying, "Welcome to Tale of Many Warhipsters. Give me presents," and that's not the energy I like to have, you know. Could you please help me deciding on red highlights over the black power armor? Yeah, you want to start quite dark with red highlights on on black. If you go too bright, it won't make a whole lot of sense. So depending on what kind of vibe you're going for, really cool way of doing this is to put it is to if you've got the black or you've got red black already, a really cool highlight for black armor is to use Word Bearer's red and then use a little bit of Evil Sun's Scarlet just on the sharpest points. That will definitely read as red black, but you can take it a little bit further by if you put Black Legion over the top of your, say you've got Black Legion power armor, and then if you shade it, instead of using like a shade paint, if you use Blood Angels red or Flesh Terrors red, you get red armor. I can't remember exactly what I did in the video, but in the video, the Ultimate Contrast Plus Black Armor Guide, there is a red one in there. So in that video, Warhipster Black Armor. I'm 99% sure. Yeah, we did. We did do a red one. So in this video, just here, Van Kuiben. There you go. (26th of September), right? That is correct, Colonel. Yes, 26th of September is my birthday. 1990, for those of you who want to know the year. I was going to paint fishes. I'm sorry, Emir Langmar. Unless they're flying fish. Earth, Wind and Fire. The year I entered 10th grade. How old are you when you're in 10th grade? What's 10th grade? Because we have year 10, but it's different. Yours... I want to say I was 16 in year 10. Tenth grade equals 14. Ah, right. Because we go to secondary school, otherwise known as high school, when you turn 11. Yeah. Because the school year runs from August, I want to say. Third week of August? First week of September? I cannot remember. Year 10 is 14 to 15. Is it? I can't remember. I went to my secondary school in 2002. I was 12. So that would have been year 7. So year 8, I'd have been 13. Year 9, 14. Year 10, 15. I was old for my year. That's the thing. Because I was I'm a September baby, so my birthday was first, essentially, in my year at school. I was the second oldest. Somebody in my year was born about a week before me, week and a half before me. So yeah, so I was 18 in, I want to say year 12. I can't remember. Either way, I'm about to be 35. My knees are about to be 65, though. Anyway. You get to round up to 40 now. Do I cross over into the next bracket of age things at 35? I don't think I do I? You know when it's like, how old are you? Like 19 to 30 or whatever it is. I don't know. Anyway, it is now 20 minutes to 11. We've gone over by 10 minutes. So, thanks for hanging out with me tonight. We didn't finish Gandalf. We got very close. I will sit and I'll figure out whether or not White Scar highlights will be applied. I'm going to guess I probably will do a couple here and there, but we'll a survey editor was 31 to 40. No, so I haven't crossed over. Good. But we shall but there we go. Don't hold a sneeze in, pull my back doing that at 37. I've pulled a lot of muscles doing stupid things. If Reza was here, he'd tell you the story about how I slipped on a sock and I tore my calf, and therefore couldn't go to his 30th birthday because I couldn't walk. That was fun. It was really bad. But yes, we are going to we're going to head off. So thank you very much for hanging out with me tonight. Tomorrow will be Contrast Plus, how to paint the Canoptek Circle. For those of you who haven't seen, here is one of those miniatures, but we have done them all. Here it is. Pow! So the Canoptek Circle from Tomb World. This is the video that you will get to see tomorrow. And if all things go to plan, you will also on Friday get to see Contrast Plus how to paint Glorfindel, Lord of the West. And then there'll be another video next week. 2 more videos next week. 3 more videos next week if I finish Gandalf. But we shall have to see what the rest of my evening does, because I've got a lot of things to do, so I'm going to go and do those. And we will be back live next week on Monday. Tale of Many Warhipsters should be the following Sunday. It's not going to be this Sunday. It should be the following Sunday after that. So whenever that is. It's the 6th on Friday, isn't it? So 7th, 8th, 15th? 14th, 15th? Something like that. Anyway, should be the following weekend. And yeah. That should be it. Anyway, if I don't see you before then, I will speak to you on Monday. Any unannounceable video for Saturday? You guessed it, Yamail Akbar. An unannounceable video on Saturday. Because if I told you, I'd have to kill you, or just, you know, give up this job and this channel. So there you go. Anyway, see you all in the next one. Bye for now. Love you, chat. Farewell. Bye.